Today on Gamer's Couch,
Giza.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Egyptian Gamer's Couch. We're
Again. After, I think isn't it here?
Which one?
The Favor of the Pharaoh?
That's on a lower shelf. But it's in this shelf.
Once more, we take you to Egypt.
Yes, because we can. And we have a sweet little game to talk about called Giza. Don't be irritated by...
The German version, because we are surprised, still German.
Really?
I guess.
Yeah, seems like that. At least we can understand German.
Like Tut and Daniel, am I now running for Pharaoh in our non-election campaign that we... No?
If you have this fancy mask as well, then I'd probably vote for you.
I'm pretty sure my face is not compatible with eyeliner, so...
Oh, we can try. I do have eyeliner.
We cannot try. We can certainly not try. There's a reason.
Every wife screamed.
There's a reason why they were only painted up when going to the grave. So...
They weren't, but that's another story. Welcome to the couch. We actually talk board games here. This
occasionally.
Is my sweet husband Daniel, and I'm Sarah, and we are board game nerds. And every week we talk about a different game. Today, again, like we already said, it's an Egyptian one. We start with a general explanation of the rules and an overview of the gameplay, and then we talk about what we liked or not liked about the game, and finish with funny stories and experiences that we had while playing this game a couple of times. Sweetheart, do your job. I will do mine. Looking nice, drinking coffee. Yours is to explain Giza to us. Go.
Springtime. It is raining outside. Everybody's feeling aches in their legs, bones, whatever. And you get slightly depressed when looking outside the window. So let's do something fun. Let's build graves. To be honest, we have to build 3 graves. But not just any grave. We build graves with style. We want to build pyramids, because the pharaoh commissioned for himself and his 2 sons, because you want to plan ahead when it comes to graves, 3 pyramids to be built, and you, the player, and all the other players are the guys who have to come up with elaborate pyramid design. Well, spoiler, it's not that really elaborate, but you have to build those pyramids, and he who has finished first and also has the most points wins the Favor of the Pharaoh. I think, well, going back, I think the thing you win is being
alive afterwards.
I think they were put in with them in the pyramids. So your grand prize is being
not if you were the builder. They supposedly.
I think the architects were put in there as well, because they knew the layout from the pyramid.
I know that the workers were disposed of.
Anyway, it's a great honor for you to build stuff on this board. It's an even greater honor to, mess with other people. So if you've seen our talk about Favor of the Pharaoh, where there's a little bit of strategy involved, and even though there is luck with the dice and all that stuff, you still try to plan to use your abilities. This here is the equivalent of a back alley knife fight with all the other players. So how do we play this? As I said, you have to build this pyramid, and you will start by drawing 4 tiles out of this bag of tiles, which has not an infinite amount of tiles, but a lot. And the tiles look like this. It's little pyramid pieces. So you have this, and this, and this, and this. So you start by placing tiles onto your board on one of the 3 pyramid spaces. If I'm trying to look at the video output and not the glare, there, and there.
This is awesome. Do you want me to hold and then you can look?
Please.
Okay.
So on your turn, you get to play 1 tile. You So you would usually start with the base plate and put it on here, and then you draw up to 4 tiles again, and it's the next player's turn. Alternatively, if you're really unhappy with the tiles you have, you can just get rid of up to 4, well, all of them, and then redraw. You just forfeit your turn for that round. The rule you have to obey when placing these tiles is that you can place any tile on the board, but to place a tile on another tile, its number has to be lower than the tile already in place. So this is a 5 base. I can only put a 4, 3, 2, or 1 on this. So if I wanted to, I could place a 5 and a 1, and then my pyramid is done. The game ends if any player has completed 3 pyramids, so having the 1 pieces on all 3 places. And then you just tally up the scores and counting the numbers on each tile to see who has won. But it's not that easy because, well, you can place these tiles on anyone's board. You can, if you want to, you can end the game early for someone who actually has less pieces on the board than you, but you would still have even though your pyramids are lacking the tops, you would still win the favor of the pharaoh. Well, in that case, probably you deserve to be put into the pyramid with the pharaoh once he is. But to make things a little bit more complicated, since this is a competition in a rally to death, which sounds probably more exciting than the game is, there's other tiles as well, and you may notice these have a red number. They
fall down.
They're highly unstable. They already fall out of my hand. And these are essentially the same tiles, but these are, well, broken stones, less than good stones, and are consequently worth negative points. Obviously, you don't want to build these on your space, but kind of put them on another player's space. First of all, preventing them for... I said these are really highly unstable. They brösel out of my hand. German word of the day.
Brösel means crumble.
So the Bröselsteine,
the crumble stones,
will be deducted from the points, and obviously they also take up the space to
I'm sorry.
stuff. By the way, it doesn't matter if you finish the pyramid with the +1 or the -1 top. As soon as it's placed on all 3, the game ends. So you might kind of end the game by placing the -1 stone on someone else's pyramid. Or if you think you're in the lead far enough, you can end it by placing it on your thing. Now...
Brösel voice?
No, I wanna have a clear and very pleasant voice, because now let me direct your attention to the treasures. There's another type of tile on here. These are treasures. Treasures are always worth positive points and may only be placed on a pyramid tile of the same value. So it kind of sidesteps the thing where it says you have to place a lower number on a tile by you have to place these on the exact same number. So if you already have, and that can actually again be minus or +5 at the base, so this one, you are allowed to put this treasure on this tile to kind of countermeasure that -5 points. Or if it's worth 5 points, you already have 10 points on the board, which is pretty awesome. Unless some other players takes umbrage with what you're doing, and there's a special tile that they can play, which is the dynamite tile, which I'm pretty sure was dynamite back in Egypt. They had,
Of course.
it's the nuke tile to just remove the topmost piece or tile on anyone's board. And that can also be yours. So you can use that either to remove a tile that is negative for you, or if someone, not that I would ever do that, but placed a 1 tile directly on your base pyramid spot to prevent you from actually building anything there except for that one thing. This is the tile to get rid of everything except for other players. But if you're sick of other players and want to give them a chance to grab a coffee or do something else, you can play a scarab tile, which is the second special tile, which is essentially you get a timeout. The way this works is this tile can be placed on any of those spots here, and while it is on there, you're not allowed to build anything on that spot with this tile on it. To get rid of it, you just, remove it, but you have to forfeit your turn for that. So it's perfect for, you want to have a drink, please get up and get a drink. We will remove the scarab, and when you're back, we will have one anyway. And last but not least, there is actually a special tile on here, that is the Sphinx. Obviously, the Sphinx don't make a headstand, so you have to start with the feet, which, curiously enough, are worth negative points. There's no positive variant of the feet. However, the body, and I don't know if this counts as sexy, but her blocken body is worth 10 points, and the head of the Sphinx is worth 15 points. So actually building the things or the Sphinx is not worth 25 points, as you might think, but it is always at a maximum worth 20 points. Still enough, but you want to have at least her chest and her face, so the important parts. And now I'm getting flooded by probably very correct reminders to stay politically correct. But this is in pastimes. Political correctness wasn't invented there. Actually, politics were probably not as much invented there. They were
way more cruel and less ruled.
No, with politics, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of politics going on if you're being selected as the living god among your people by
you're
the sun.
Not.
That's how that works.
Selected, right? It's heritage. A certain family rules, and you can overthrow them. Try it at least. There's. Back there in the bookshelf, next to the second gaming shelf, there's actually a book about Egyptian society and history and politics and stuff.
You're talking about the West Wing.
Yes, in the West Wing.
Next to the pool where books are kept usually.
Yeah, well, I like Egyptian history, so I own quite a few books.
In fact, at some point in school, I learned to at least interpret some of hieroglyphics. But this does not help with this game at all.
But it helps with reading my handwriting.
What does help with the game is this board, not only to give you a space to place your pyramids, but to actually remind you how many tiles are in the game of each piece. Because this is very blurry, the important part to note here is that while the base pyramid tiles are quite frequent, there's 7 of those, the Sphinx is actually the kind of one of the rarest resources, because there's only one Sphinx head there, 2 bodies, and, 3 feet. 3 pairs of feet. Otherwise, that would be weird. So, if you want to build the Sphinx, you kind of want to wait until you have at least a body part or her head, or, you want to wait at least until you have a body part before even putting down the feet, because otherwise they'd just be worth negative points, which is also a great way to annoy other players by saying, hey, I'm helping you building the Sphinx, here, have some feet. And you're like, I have a space for people like you in my pyramid.
Very special chamber of torture. After death.
And that's pretty much it. There's the other way to end the game is if you manage to draw all the tiles of the back. You can play this game with 2 players, with 3 players, with 4 players, with 5 players, or with 6 pharaohs. So it's 2 to 6 players. But the pharaohs have to be 8 or older, and expect this game to be over in 10 minutes to maybe half an hour. Well, it says half an hour, let's say.
That would be with 6 players.
Yeah, 10 to 20 minutes. And even with 6 players, you would go through the bag quite quickly. And you might have already guessed from the rules explanation that there's not a lot going on there, except for trying not to get stabbed by the person you're screwing over at the table by placing Brüsselsteine.
How was the manual?
The manual was delightfully short. I know this is a Waldorf and Stadler answer, but yes, it's 4 pages, and
A lot of pictures.
it's a simple game and very easy to grasp. I think that with that, it also makes it very approachable or very suitable for smaller kids. So you might even be able to play this easily with someone who's younger than 8.
If they know numbers up to 5, then you're actually good, I think. So in modern times, kids are required to be able to count to 20 and know so many letters. Like,
at least here.
Before they even go to school when they're 6 years old. So I guess in modern times you can play this ancient game way earlier in life than back in the day when it was published. I don't know how old this game is.
And in 200 years, people will watch this and say, count to 20. Now we have to do some advanced quantum mechanics.
We have to do quantum physics to get into elementary school.
Yeah.
Right. So let's hop on into the next section, likes and dislikes. Do you want to start since the explanation was short, or do you want me to go first?
No, I want to drink my cup of coffee.
Okay, go ahead. I will tell you all about my opinion, what I think. Now, this is what I would categorize as a filler game or a travel game, meaning it's very quick to play. There's
that's what you mean with travel. Okay.
it's quite a small box. You can really take it with you on vacation. There's not a lot of knickknacks that you might lose on your travels, so it's a perfect travel game or filler game.
I'd go so far to say those boards are nice, but
you don't have to take
the boards
them
are the only reason why the bag, the box is as big as it is. All you need to play this game is this bag.
Exactly.
Things,
so you could really take it with you, even on a plane where you have only limited luggage. Taking with you.
Not in the plane, but
no.
Okay.
He's doing it again.
I'm wondering what the flight personnel might say if they hear me shout, "I'm going to bury you for this!"
We can try on our flight to BGGCon this year. We have several opportunities.
I don't think that we will be a very special case in that regard. Everybody else will just say, just let him win.
No, I mean, on the way to BGGCon, I don't know how many international guests are there. So, whatever. Maybe on the first flight to London, we should try it, because we're not in Dallas territory then. Anyway, rambling. Tangent. But I think it's a good travel game or a filler game or a dinner game. So very short, very easy to learn. Not a lot of things to, take care of. You can easily chat while you play this game. It plays pretty much automatically while you have a conversation with somebody. Once in a while you have the "I will bury you for that" kind of shout out in between, but it's not that thinky. Since you have only 4 tiles that you can choose from in your action or in your turn, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much of tactic or strategy, and you're kind of limited to, do I want to build my awesome pyramids or sphinx, or do I want to screw with the other players? And then if you have more than one other player, you just have to decide which one to target. That's all. But I think it's a game that would fit if you're kind of tired, you're maybe not be as awake or involved, or not wanting to play the big and involved games, but want to have just maybe something, to pass the time or just to close a night. That's the perfect game for it. And I would qualify it also as a family game. You can, it's also, again, play it with kids.
I'd say it's a game that really, really heavily depends on the luck of the draw. So there's...
Yes. So the rolling of the dice for the favor of the pharaoh is here which tiles do I draw.
But there's no way to mitigate that. So
Yes. Well, you can throw your tiles away, but then they're out of the game. They do not go back into the bag. So you quicken up the game there.
and losing a turn is actually quite painful.
Yes, it is. Since you only have maybe 5, or it's not, well, maybe 6 or 7, depending on how many players, but you don't have a lot of turns. So it's really, really quick. Component artwork-wise, well, there is not much to it. This game doesn't require fancy artwork. I don't know when, well, other way around. For the quality of the components. We got this game from Daniel's parents when they shifted or gave us all of the old children's board games that Daniel owned. We took them to our house. So this game was in the basement of your parents' house for a while, but I don't know for how long.
No, it wasn't.
Or if they played it or traveled.
They bought it for their travel to Egypt, actually. And
I thought it was a gift to them. Whatever. So they got it for the travel to Egypt, which would be within the last 7 years.
Yes, certainly.
Because they were.
It's also, this wasn't in a cellar,
Egypt
so
while it was in the basement with your bigger games. At least it was there when we collected all of your children's.
I thought it was up
game.
there. It doesn't matter.
No, the requirement was we just have to play it with your parents, but we can have it at our house and play it too. But we have to play it with your parents. That was the requirement to take it to, well, all the other lovely games that we own. So I don't know if they took it on their travel, if it maybe was thrown around quite a bit. But I was kind of surprised.
Brand new when we opened it up.
There was nothing to punch in. Everything was cut. It was ready to play. So I'm not sure, but I'm surprised.
But I removed the seal stuff. It was brand new.
It was brand new. Okay. So, well, then I'm actually kind of disappointed by the quality. There are a few tiles where the paper with the print on it already peels, and we are very careful with the games that we own, so we don't throw them around or something. And still, we do have quite a bit of wear and tear already, and we played it about maybe 10 times, 15 times tops.
You can see here.
So,
I think it might be due to if it was I didn't remember that it was in a cellar, but it could be that the glue is just getting off here. So I'm
not sure, but I was
all things that appear on these tiles that are not that great are all related to the glue maybe not being that great.
Yeah, but some were really in the middle of the tiles that parts were ripped already. Again, I'm not sure, but if it was completely sealed and we are the first to play, then I'm kind of disappointed with the quality.
I think that the game said it's from 2010 or even 2007 or something. It is.
I don't know. It must have been within.
Oh, so 2006. So this is if this box is actually 10 years old, even though it was in good shape, I wouldn't be surprised. So it could be that they just got a really dated.
Could be, but that's just. Well, kind of a disappointment then.
It's unfortunate, but
it's unfortunate. That's the right word.
To be honest, if that is not a problem, I would have the game if I wanted to point out a problem. I think
no, it's just something where I was like, oh, and I always value high quality and lovely artwork with games. That's a big point for me. Do I want to look at that game? Do I?
Yeah, for me, this is certainly a game that is difficult to recommend if you're just playing with 2. Mm-hmm. Because when I said it's a knife fight in a back alley, that anger gets directly only between those 2 players, and it kind of dissolves towards let's see what tile I drew this time. Is it better than what you drew? And if that happens more than once, I win the game. With more than 2 players, it's getting a little bit more interested because those conflicts shift around. And I would even say that even 3 might be
It's
really
more
the lower bar.
aggressive.
It's 4 players and up is probably better. However, I can see how the game, for what it is, might take a little bit too long then to being in it. It's good as a filler game in that regard.
15 or 20 minutes with 6 players is really, really short.
Yeah, but we haven't played it with 6 players, and I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, but even half an hour is not long for 6 players. I mean, we do have games that we play with 6 players that take 2 hours.
Yeah, but that's what I mean with the content that the game provides is a little bit thin for the amount of time it takes, even though it is for 6 players.
Yes.
If it would still be over in 10 minutes, then I'd be fine with that. So it's something
I'm with you.
It's really difficult to compare with something like Sushi Dice or something. The other game I could compare this to that has that same feel of stabbing other people would be something like Love Letter or any other micro game. However, Giza is lacking the mind games for that, at least for me. There's some things you should not do. You should, for example, not do. Don't put down the feet of the Sphinx if you don't have the rest. So what will happen is from the 4 tiles you draw, if you draw one of these tiles, you probably will keep them in hand as a way to, if someone places the feet, then great, you can place the next piece on there as well. You wouldn't probably put the feet down by yourself. Well, again, it depends on the situation. You will also probably try to keep at least one of those explode things tiles just to get rid of something that really hurts you or to prevent someone else from winning the game in some form with that. So that means you probably will end up with only 2 tiles on hand that are actually doing something else than being kind of a possible reaction. The scarab tiles, I think, are almost a little bit boring because, first of all, if you play them, nothing really happens. So the scarab tile essentially is you forfeit your turn to draw a new tile, and with you, some other player gets to forfeit a turn on his whenever he wants to take that. Yes, you can strategically place that. You could even place it on the Sphinx, but I have never felt with that thing that it...
No, it's my least favorite tile as well. You can. I think the game wouldn't be different if there wouldn't be a scarab tile. There would not be a large difference.
At least not a big difference. So there's only probably 2 tiles that you're concerned about what other people might have on their hands. So then you start playing by maximizing what you have and kind of doling out the negative tiles wherever possible.
Which is actually something that I like. That you go, I mean, it adds kind of to replayability. Do something with what you've got and try to make the best of it.
But that said, since there's usually only 1 or 2 decisions to make, there's not a lot there.
No, and again, I understand filler game.
I understand it's a simple game. For me, this is a game. When I play this, I know that I don't care about winning or losing at all. This is
it's more about the fun on the journey.
Autopilot game where you just and then I place that and hey, I have won. But I could have also have lost it.
Yeah, the fun thing actually is the bickering at the table with the other players. That's actually the fun part. And I mean, you could again also have a conversation about a totally different topic while you play this game. The autopilot kind of helps there if you haven't seen your friends in a while and want to catch up with what's been happening and play something while you talk.
The only thing that is exciting from time to time is if you have a chance to end the game and you're not exactly sure how many points other people have, because you're not allowed. You're only allowed to see the topmost tile. You technically, if you have perfect memory, you could of course remember what tiles were there before and just count it up in your head. But I don't do that, and if you do that, congratulations, you will be bored with this game. Because you will be a perfect player, and then just comes down to the luck of the draw. So I kind of intentionally don't pay too much attention to what other, but I think that's what you mean when you said being a little bit tired. Or,
you if you're just in like, I want to play something, but I don't want to play a big game. I don't want to play Robinson Crusoe where we play for 3 hours and I really have to make sure that I'm there. Otherwise we lose instantly. Let's play something easy. It's a bit like Quicks it's in the same box for me.
For the same reason when I said the mind games, that is also the reason. The thing that I like most about this is actually the Sphinx, because there's only one head, 2 bodies, and the feet are worth negative points. The rest of the tiles, there are too many in there to actually
count what is in the bag.
Yeah, that's something I enjoy with micro games like Love Letter, where you see what has been played, and it's not that many cards. There's enough for you to mentally grasp on. Okay, this has been played. That means it's only these 4 cards left.
Yeah, so likelihood of
what could they have? And here there's too many tiles for that. At least for me to. Successfully have a similar kind of feel.
I do not care, actually, because right from the get-go, I know, well, it's too many to tally up, even if I look at my sheet, what's in there, what's probably not in there. And, I mean, especially with when you draw new tiles from the bag and remove the ones from your hand, if you're not happy with what you've drawn, you do so... face down, so you don't know what other players might have thrown away. So it's really difficult to then see, okay, it's very likely this tile is in the bag or this one is in the bag. And I mean, from the start, I just don't care about it.
And unless it is a Sphinx tile, you don't really have to care about this, because it's like, oh, the 4 treasure is now gone.
There's more than one, so whatever. I mean,
That said, what I do really like about this game is game group usability in regards to 2 to 6 players and plays really quickly. There's a case to be made for games that can be used when another group is still playing to entertain people until they're done. And this is kind of short enough that you can just play 1, 2, maybe 3 rounds until you're caught up with the other group, and then play something else together or do something.
Yeah, or while you wait for people to arrive, you can play it with the ones that are already there.
And it's super quick to set up, so that actually there's no setup at all, except for here's your board, now
and here's the tiles and go.
Build a pyramid, and that's it,
So shall we rate?
Sure.
Go. Shake it, baby. 1, 2, 3. I'm a bit more positive than you are.
I'm middle on this, because I just don't enjoy games that rely on luck so heavily that much. But that's just me.
I do, and I think that's the difference. I like dice games. I like you losing once in a while, mostly, often. And I think that kind of luck what you draw kind of factor is a bit higher for me.
It has its place, and it's not that I can't. I will play this if we bring this out, but I would probably, unless it's that specific situation where you need some filler game for, let's say, 5 people, I probably wouldn't bring up Let's Play Giza.
No, it would be,
that take the same amount of time that I find a little bit more interesting.
Yes, but still, I mean, I like that you can travel with this game. I mean, that's we always take games on vacation or whatever, so we need to have a good sorted amount of travel games. So, But let's hop into the last section, funny stories and experiences. Now, we've only played it with 2 and 3 players. And here's one thought that I want to share with you.
Yes, please.
And I thought it would maybe fit better in this section and not in the likes and dislikes. I think, since we haven't played it with more than 3, I'm not sure, but I think this game is more aggressive the less players you have. Because with more players, I think you would
you have to get rid of your tiles, and
you would spread out the negative tiles to maybe not only one person, but with 3 players. It's usually like this, or it was with us. No matter if we played with Tina or with my mom.
I think that especially with 3 players, you get with 2. It's kind of if you have
you fight back and
something
forth.
that is disadvantages, it is always against the other player.
Yes.
With 3, I don't know. Even with games like Magic, I know that you are getting really pissed if we are playing Magic, or if there's a setup in where you have 3 players and it at least feels like it could be 2 people ganging up against one. And this
happens with Giza, I think.
Yes.
So I think it's way more aggressive. I mean, again, we all play to win. My mom does, Tina does, I does, you do. I do, you do. So we don't play nice, and you're not supposed to play nice. But I thought what I felt like was the player that placed a minus tile on somebody else's board first was the one to be attacked the most. First off, by the person being sabotaged first. So the 3rd player can play on its own, and they're going back and forth. And then at one point, the 3rd player probably, and I mean the bigger ring goes on, and the 3rd player probably also has a negative tile to place. And I felt that the player that attacked first then got the negative tile. And no matter if I did that, you did that, my mom, Tina.
In that regard, it feels very similar to how playing Magic the Gathering, at least with our friends, because it is kind of the same, where if you're the first to attack, you kind of bring up everybody else at the table against you. And that's what I mean with 3 players. That is very, very dominant. And with more... even with 4 players, you can attack 1, and then the other 2 that are not kind of related to that don't necessarily...
They can have their own squirrel, or they just can play nice.
Their own squirrel?
Did I say squirrel? Okay, squirrel!
If you're
Squibble.
If you're referencing my new haircut and that
that's an opossum. It's a opossum on vacation. It's not there.
Now it is on vacation. It's springtime, so opossums have to go on a grand vacation.
Yeah, you just have the chin opossum, but I love chin opossum. So I like you with beard. You know that. I actually prefer it.
I prefer it without the D.
Oh, yeah, that too. But what I found most interesting, coming back to the game experiences, my favorite round was that second one that we played with my mom. So with my mom, we played, I think, 3 or 4 rounds of Giza. And the second round, you two went at each other big time. She started... You didn't start that time. She gave you the first negative one. I'm sorry, but I love my daughter maybe a bit more. Just like being really cute and sweet. I'm your mom-in-law and I love you, but here's some sabotage tiles. Like really awesome. And he hit back, of course, and I was able to build my pyramids and I had a lot of treasure in there. And then I had to place a sabotage tile and I placed it on my mom's board. And I thought she would then direct her sabotage to mine board. But no, she kept going at you until you said, well, you know, your daughter is about to win big time because you're only hitting me. Can you please redirect your anger? And then she started only for the last 2 turns or something, tried to sabotage me, which I... thought was surprising because I would have expected her to go after me then, since I really put a big one down, -5 or -4, and still she kept going hitting you.
For some reason, I don't know why I earned this, but for whatever games we're playing, for some reason, I usually get taken out first because people consider me to be one of the bigger threats at the table, which is not necessarily true, especially not for those luck-based games.
You come across as a very smart and very tactical player. You are known as a gamer.
For your mother to go all Zangief and doing the Russian pile driver, or spinning pile driver on me with the thing. And if you were missing that image, now you have it.
But she always says, "I love you, my dear
No, she
son-in-law."
doesn't. She says, "Take that! I'm going to."
No, she really loves you, but she's playing competitive, and
Sure.
she plays like she's in war. How do you end the war? You take out the biggest threat.
How do you?
Then you can
You
summon
just take out the enemy. That's it.
the biggest one, not the
All
tiny
of them.
ally maybe over there. He will comply afterwards, but if I take you out, then I have victory. This is how she plays.
Well,
It's fun. It's a lot of fun,
and
especially
here's-
for me.
Here's your lesson for you for today: to try not to anger my mother-in-law, because she will
go
drive
after you.
into the ground.
Yeah, and she is a gamer. She is a casual gamer, but she is a gamer. She likes to play and beat other people. It's like slapping or boxing somebody, but without hurting them. It's like, take this. I think she likes that once in a while. I don't know, therapy. Anyway, so do you have any experiences, any stories that I forgot that you want to add here? Did I remember everything?
It's this game is by definition a little bit uneventful, except for the
people that you play with.
bickering with,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of encapsulated what I feel about the game.
Yeah. So let's.
And that was for my mother-in-law. That was not for you. Although you might consider yourself as well if you want to. I don't care.
The wrath of Tutte and Daniel.
No.
Doesn't fit now. So let's finish up this lovely video. We hope you have a very lovely Easter Sunday. Go search for some chocolate bunnies and colorful eggs, maybe in your husband's pants, I don't know. Whatever, just have a very, very nice
I don't know.
day.
Does this count as a colorful egg? Or
No, it's not
this?
an oval. That it's more like an oval.
I see.
Have fun, enjoy. We're gonna see you next Sunday with a new game on the couch. And if you don't have,
I want my hint.
yeah, I was just
I want my hint.
draw for initiative. Next Wednesday, painting board game scenes. It's also a very ancient scenery there,
Chess.
and there is
Go.
pyramids as well.
Does it have to do with candles?
No.
Ancient and pyramids.
There's also pyramids there. Not only, but also.
I probably need another hint.
There's different ways to win. One is more quiet and intelligent. The other one is
Oh, I see. So Rampage.
kind of same designer.
I wonder
Yeah,
what this could be.
yeah, same.
I
How often do you wonder?
I need at least 7 more hints to.
That's enough.
So,
You should know by now.
I'm sorry. I can't keep a straight face by being so badly at this.
Enjoy. See us on this channel on Wednesday and on next Sunday. And if you're interested in any other artwork, any other day of the week as well. Take good care. Have fun. Thanks for watching. Do all the good
Goodbye.
YouTube stuff. Bye.